What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including a huge debut at Wrestlemania 38, Daniel Bryan lied to WWE, Stephanie McMahon enters a Hall of Fame, Cain Velasquez returning to the ring, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into our first story. Our first story looks at a huge debut at Wrestlemania 38. Now our top story today deals with the recently drafted WWE superstar Gable Steveson. Wrestling fans are wondering what's going on with him, as the 2021 Olympic gold medal winner in wrestling not only signed a deal with WWE to wrestle, but he was also drafted to Raw in Night 2 of the 2021 WWE Draft. Does this draft mean he's going to wrestle right away? Well, not according to Dave Meltzer, who recently reported WWE wants to feature the Olympic gold medalist on TV throughout the next several months and then have him start as a regular TV talent after the college wrestling season ends in March. The idea would then be to give Gable a debut at WrestleMania 38 in April. As noted by Forbes, the WWE made special arrangements for Steveson that will allow him to continue to wrestle at the collegiate level for the University of Minnesota while also training for his WWE career. That in and of itself should show WWE fans just how serious the company is about Steveson being cemented as a top-level star right out of the gate. They suggested Steveson's debut could be bigger than Ronda Rousey's debut at WrestleMania 34 when she teamed with Kurt Angle to take on Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Whether or not that happens depends on who the WWE puts Steveson into the ring against, and if they were to put him in the ring against main eventers like Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar, it could backfire depending on number 1, his pro wrestling skills, and number 2, fan perception that he's being over-pushed, particularly if was to score a win over Reigns or Lesnar, but especially Reigns. Considering the way the WWE has protected Reigns, it's unlikely Steveson will face him at Mania, and the WWE may put him into a tag match to ease him into the ring and to have him work alongside an experienced partner, just like they did with Rousey. How do you think they should book Steveson? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Daniel Bryan lied to WWE. Bryan Danielson's 2016 retirement from the WWE, reportedly due to a culmination of injuries including concussions, was a sad moment for his fans, as they never thought they'd see the leader of the Yes Movement wrestle ever again. While he eventually returned to the ring after doctors cleared him, apparently there was more going on behind the scenes than originally thought. During an interview with WDEL.com, Bryan explained why the WWE pulled him from competition. "I legitimately thought I was healthy and still think I'm healthy. One of the reasons I was forced to retire was not because of the concussions, but because I lied about that. You have to understand, from WWE's point of view, I had been wrestling for them for 6 years, but then all of a sudden they opened this Pandora's box about lying about his medical history, and now we can't trust him. A lot of that was building the trust back, but they were also legitimately looking after my health. Going to see doctor after doctor and doing everything that I could to improve brain function to show above and beyond that my brain was healthy." Bryan was also asked whether he prefers wrestling as a babyface or a heel, answering, "I do like being booed. I think it's a lot of fun, but both are good. As long as you're getting a strong reaction either way, both are good. I think it's always more fun to be the villain." Bryan's story is interesting because some fans and critics have wondered whether the WWE's decision to clear Bryan in 2018 was based on the company not wanting to lose him to a rival promotion, or keep in mind that AEW didn't exist at the time, or because it felt he was medically cleared. Next up, Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley don't do business together. Now, have the Dudley boys become this generation's version of the Rockers, aka Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty, a tag team that doesn't get along with each other? Well, a recent interview with Devon Dudley suggests that while Devon may have had a good reason for being angry with Bubba, that's not the case. You'll likely recall the team's return to WWE in 2015 and 2016, where they helped put over younger teams. But did you know that WWE wanted to keep Bubba Ray and Devon in the WWE? Devon spoke about this when he appeared on the Cut Pro Wrestling podcast. "There was a contract given to us after the second run from 2015 to 16, and Bubba Ray didn't want to sign it. He wanted to do the Bully Ray character, and Vince said no. He didn't want that. He wanted the Dudleys. He didn't want us to break up. Regardless to what we did in 2002 when we broke up, it still lay fresh in their minds that we were better as a tag team." According to Devon, Bubba Ray eventually agreed to the contract, but by then it was too late. Now all of a sudden we go forward and I've signed it, and he hasn't, because there's still things that he felt that he had to take care of on his side. By the time he got through that, the company was like, nah, we don't want it anymore. We're not dealing with the headaches. And they decided not to do it. Devon said that the contract was great, particularly for two wrestlers their age, as they would have been around their mid-40s at the time. Ultimately, Devon chose to sign with the WWE as a producer as he was going through a divorce at the time and he passed on wrestling in Japan due to the travel schedule. And despite the bad experience, Devon clarified, I wish him nothing but the best, but we do not do business anymore. There's no hard feelings and I don't have any animosity towards him. It's just he's doing his thing and I'm doing my thing. Bubba and I are not at odds with each other. We don't hate one another. We just went different ways like most tag teams do. This is not a Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels thing where we hate each other. We don't. We just had a difference of opinions at the time and we went our separate ways. Devon said that while he was enthusiastic about his role as a producer, he now has come to enjoy it immensely. Next up, Stephanie McMahon enters a Hall of Fame. Now congratulations to the WWE's Chief Brand Officer for her recent induction into the International Sports Hall of Fame. The WWE tweeted the news about wrestling's billion-dollar princess saying, "Congratulations Stephanie McMahon on being the first female executive inducted into the International Sports Hall of Fame." Now this isn't Stephanie's first award for a role on the business side of the WWE, as she's previously received honours such as the Most Powerful Woman in Cable and an honorary doctorate in business from Robert Morris University. Next up, Cain Velasquez returning to the ring. Our former UFC heavyweight champion Cain Velasquez is returning to the wrestling ring, and according to Wrestling News' Andrew Ravens, Mexico's AAA has announced Velasquez will work their 4th December event. No opponent has been named as of this writing, but this isn't Velasquez's first time in AAA, as he previously worked 2019's Triplemania event teaming with Cody Rhodes and Psycho Clown. Cain then signed a WWE deal wrestling Brock Lesnar at 2019's Crown Jewel event, as well as a tag match at a house show. However, they released Velasquez in 2020, but now the WWE's returned to running live events. Might they bring him back? What do you guys think? Should he come back? Let us know in the comments down below. And finally, is Lita ready to wrestle Becky Lynch? And last but not least, could the WWE Universe be in for a dream match between WWE Hall of Famer Lita and current SmackDown Women's Champion Becky Lynch? Well, the internet wrestling community heated up recently when Lita retweeted an article looking at 5 dream matches for her. Wrestling News' Andrew Ravens reported on what happened next, saying she asked her followers who they would choose. Lynch saw the tweet and responded with, "I'll send you off with a bad arm if you like." Lita answered with, "Well, if you happen to find yourself in the neighborhood tomorrow," as a reference to the WWE holding Monday's episode of Raw in San Francisco, California, as Lita lives nearby. The 11th October Raw is scheduled to feature a tag match between the team of Charlotte and Becky against Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. Lita hasn't worked a match since 2018, and one would hope the WWE would spend more time building a Becky vs Lita match. Would you guys like to see these superstars throw down, or should Lita stay retired? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.